Nestled beneath the cliffs of Table Mountain on a peninsula where the Indian and Atlantic Oceans meet, Cape Town has to be one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It's the most relaxed and cosmopolitan city in South Africa and home to the majority of the country's colored population. A 45-minute ferry ride away is Robben Island, where President Nelson Mandela spent 18 of his 27 years in prison. Robben Island has been a symbol of oppression throughout the world, but now the warders and the ex-political prisoners have come together in a unique way to change that. The prison just opened to the public.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will be asked not smoking in the island.
Robben Island has a history of suffering. It was first used as an asylum and then a leper colony, and since the 18th century has served as a high-security prison. Its only other inhabitants are penguin and deer. The last prisoners left in November 1996.
Here, as you see, these are single cells. There are about 30 of them. That is where the leaders of the ANC were kept. They were separated from other prisoners because they were regarded as the most dangerous people in South Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is cell number 5. This is where President Mandela used to stay. Now, in the beginning, there were no beds. We were sleeping on the floor.
After the tour, I spoke with Lionel David, an ex-political prisoner who lived in the cell opposite Mandela for 7 years.
Something which I remember very clearly is how people who are very prominent in the life of South Africa today used to play Monopoly in one of the cells. And you would find these people, highly trained, highly educated people, leaders of the organizations, really cheating each other and really laughing, you know, and having great fun playing Monopoly.
So what does it mean to you now to be working here on the island, leading tours?
For me, I have no bitterness. And we should take our cue from President Mandela because, yes, he has forgiven, but we do not forget.
Not forgotten is District 6, a vibrant multiracial neighborhood bulldozed by the powers of apartheid who forcibly relocated its mostly colored and black residents into separate townships. All that's left is a museum and bitter memories.
My son was 4 years old, and I'll never forget this. I took him one and said, come, we're going for a walk to, downtown. And when we got into town, he had he wanted to pee. And he pulled me, he said, Daddy, come, I want to pee. And I couldn't take him into that toilet, because it said whites only. So I said, man, go to hell, you stand right there, I pull down his pants, you pee in the road, To hell with the police, they can take us to jail. But anyway, that's all gone now, and I'm glad.
The Cape Flats to the east of the city are home to the majority of Cape Townians. Under the system of apartheid, these townships were created to separate blacks and coloreds from the white population. Amenities are scarce and overcrowding intense in the townships. I met Emily in Guguletu, a predominantly black township, who took me to her shebeen, or bar, where a sangoma ceremony was taking place.
Come and have a look. That's sangomas inside. Come and have a seat.
What's a sangoma?
The sangomas, they are the healers.
85% of black households in South Africa visit healers known as sangomas. They are consulted about everything from restoring love to serious illnesses and are paid to prescribe medicine. This ceremony is a healing ritual. The woman kneeling came to be cured from her habit of gossiping.
That is an African Mkomboti.
What?
It's an African beer.
Beer.
We call it Mkomboti.
Romboti.
Mkomboti. Yeah. Mkomboti. Mkomboti.
Before I left, Emma, the head Sangoma, gave me some herbal medicine known as muti.
I'm wishing you a good luck for your journey. So you must go very good luck in South Africa.
The Trans-Karoo Express passes through Stellenbosch and the lush wine regions north of Cape Town before heading into the arid landscape known as the Great Karoo.
So this is the barrier between the third class and the second class. But it's unlocked. Ooh! It's freezing in here. This is the very air-conditioned dining room, and I believe you have to make reservations in order to get a table. Is that true? You have to make a reservation in order to have a table?
That's right.
Yeah. Is it full?
At the moment, no, ma'am.
The Karoo is a vast wilderness stretching north from the Western Cape, covering roughly a third of the country. I was traveling through it as far as Landsberg. Landsberg is a one-street town. It hasn't made it into the guidebooks yet, and its only claim to fame is a massive flood that all but destroyed the place in 1981. But it's deep in the heart of Afrikanerland. Christian, a sheep farmer, offered to take me to a traditional Afrikaner barbecue, or braai. The majority of whites are Afrikaner, descended from the Boers. Their main language is Afrikaans, with English as their second language. The Dutch Reformed Church is essential to the Afrikaner way of life.
Amen.
If you live in a Karoo, you will realize that there is a law. That's just common sense, you know. You see him here, you feel him here, you hear him here.
When I asked what they did for fun around here, they told me they liked to hunt springbok.
You shoot them and you eat them and you make biltong. You use the skins to make little carpets, you know, and jackets. And they use the horns for trophies as well. Okay, stop, Louis, stop. It's kind of old, you can see by the horns. Yeah. It's old. By the teeth. Okay, let's go. The Springboks are part of our national symbols. Our national rugby team is called the Springboks. That's it.
Oh gosh, couldn't you be more like
That's dead.
ceremonial about it?
It's dead. I mean,
No, what's ceremonial about it?
it's food.
It's fruit.
The next day, I traveled south through the Swartberg Mountains and into the Little Karoo, heading towards the ostrich farming area around Oudtshoorn. Ostriches were indigenous to this region and have been farmed since the early 19th century. Their feathers were the height of fashion in Europe 100 years ago, when there were up to 1 million ostriches in the area. Today, ostriches are farmed primarily for their meat and leather.
Now, since an ostrich weighs so much, this egg can take a pressure of up to 400 pounds on the end, which therefore means that you can come and stand on the eggs and they won't break.
Can I jump?
If you like to, yes. Now, apart from that, an ostrich can run between 60 and 80 kilometers per hour.
1, 2, 3, go!
The big treat at the end of the tour is you get to ride an ostrich as long as you're under 160 pounds, which I am, unfortunately.
Just bring your legs across like this.
Yeah, okay.
All right, hold on to the wings
Now
over here.
What do I hold on to? The wings?
The wings, yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness. Woo!
Just lean back. Lean back, lean back.
Okay, all right, I think I've had my ostrich experience. Wow! Okay, okay.
Just leave everything.
After a full day of ostrich riding, I'm in the mood for something ostrichy. Here they've got sautéed ostrich, smoked ostrich, ostrich steak, ostrich Wellington, ostrich biltong, ostrich roulade, but I've chosen
The ostrich carpaccio.
Thank you. Ostrich carpaccio tastes like... Tastes like beef carpaccio. Doesn't taste at all like a big bird. From Oudtshoorn, I traveled up into the Transkei region and the Wild Coast towards Coffee Bay. Away from the coast, the hills are dotted with villages made up of round houses or rondavels that are home to the Xhosa people. It was in one of these villages that Nelson Mandela was born. Good morning. This is the Coffee Bay Backpackers Hostel. It's for backpackers who want to stop backpacking for a while. Costs $5 a night to stay here, and the owner, his name is Paula. He likes to take people deep sea fishing, which is why we're up so early, so that we can get out there before the sea gets really rough. To be honest, boats are really not my thing.
Just turn it.
Oh my
Got it, you got it.
Wow, what is it?
I think it's a shark. You want me to give you a hand? Okay. Just watch your line, Bump.
What kind of shark is that?
It's a emerald. Emerald shark.
Look, they're dolphins.
If you're into deep sea fishing, you may, like us, catch a rare glimpse of the whale shark, apparently the largest fish in the world. What's it like traveling in the Transkei? I've heard it's quite dangerous. Is that true?
There is problems. There have been people, been raped and robbed and whatever. You talk to some people that have been coming here for a long time. They'll say, yeah, come here, it's fantastic.
South Africans themselves are extremely paranoid. They even lock themselves inside their barred gates, inside their locked house, lock themselves into the bedroom section of the house with their panic buttons on the walls. I mean, we've been here for a week now and I've never felt threatened or frightened. Do you have any advice or tips for traveling in South Africa?
As a surfer, I suggest you leave your surfboard at home, especially with the exchange rate as it is. Hit a town like Durban or Jeffreys Bay and buy a board there. They're about a third of the price of England especially. And then just ship it home, sell it, make some money on it.
When you land at the airport and you get your visa, if you only plan to stay for 3 weeks, you can get 3 months straight away. Take the 3 months because I reckon guaranteed you will stay 3 months.
Don't set a rigid schedule because you'll never stick to it, and if you do then you'll probably end up very sad at the end of it because you missed out on things you wanted to do and did things you didn't want to. So yeah, stay totally flexible.
From Coffee Bay, it's 5 hours drive to South Africa's third largest city, Durban. Once a white enclave, Durban's streets now reflect a variety of cultures. This province has always been home to the largest Indian and Pakistani communities in South Africa. The Hindu festival of Kavadi, which takes place in February, is a celebration of the Hindu god known as the Lord Muruga. devoted Hindus prepare to carry structures called kavadis to the local temple.
They put the hooks on the back.
They put a hook on your back.
He won't know, he's not in his sense, so you'll be putting this with a trance on him.
A trance to pull it. It looks like it's quite heavy.
Yeah, it is. You try it. It's a long.
So I'm going to try it. So what vow did you take?
It's for my mother and my wife and my child.
For your mother, your wife, and your child.
To live in good health.
Did it hurt you at all to get these pierces? Nothing.
Am I bleeding?
You're what?
Am I bleeding?
You're not bleeding, nothing.
In order to purify themselves, participants refrain from smoking, drinking, and eating meat for weeks prior to the event. Devotees are sent into a trance-like state, allowing themselves to be pierced all over. There's no blood, no swelling, and they feel no pain. Since leather is made of the sacred cow, shoes cannot be worn. Everyone then walks barefoot over baking hot roads to the temple more than 1 mile away.
Part of the penance is walking barefoot on this very, very hot ground. Okay, but I'm not going to complain because considering what everyone else has gone through today. Thank you. Thank you. So it's very kind of the neighbors to do this.
Yes. They are supposed to put down the feet of the devotees.
How are they all doing this? No one's complaining, nothing.
I'm born in ecstasy. Think about your mother. Think about the Almighty Lord.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think about my
mom.
mom.
Think about, yes, because she is your foremost for God. God is everything.
Okay.
Sweet mommy, loving mommy, darling mommy.
Mother, yeah?
This is why the devotees see the holiness of the great supreme power.
Keep talking about my mother.
Yeah. Your mother,
my mother
has been guarding you.
Yeah.
Your mother has been feeding you.
Oh, thank you, Mommy.
Okay.
Thank you.
You got through
Thank you,
that.
Mommy. I got through it. Thank you. You're right.
That is mother's force.
Thank you, Mom.
So,
Once in the temple, offerings of milk are given to the Lord Muruga, then the hooks are removed and the devotees are released from their trance.
Do you do this often?
Every year.
And
3 times a year.
3 times a year you do this?
Yes.
And what do you do in your real life?
I'm an interior decorator.
An interior decorator. How do you feel now?
Perfect, 100%.
You don't have any pain anywhere?
Nothing. As long as you have the faith, you've got no problem.
With 4 miles of warm water patrolled by lifeguards and clean, healthy-sized waves, Durban is a mecca for surfers. I got to meet national surf champion Shane Thorne.
What's the shark situation like out here?
Well, we have shark nets here, so it's pretty protected.
All over the beach?
All along the outside, like for kilometers.
So there's never been a shark attack here? Or?
Well, there has, but in the early 70s, 60s, 70s.
Why are all of you surfers here at Durban? Why is it so great?
well, one of the better things about Durban is that you've got one certain beach that all the guys come to so that they compete against each other. And each guy, when he hits the lip, the guy next to him wants to hit it harder. So they just get better and better.
So how does it work so that you don't all go crashing into each other?
Generally, the man on the inside of the breaking part of the wave will have the right of way to surf that wave. But sometimes it can result in a couple of fists flying or a few bad words.
Get out of my way.
So tell me about Shane. Is he as good as he looks?
Shane, well, put it this way. For Shane, we gotta say, we ain't ready.
We're not ready. We're not ready.
That's what we think of Shane.
Shane's our god, and we hang around him and get the leftover chicks. You can only grab one, and there's always a couple of groupies hanging around him.
Well, I'm too short to have any of Shane's girlfriends, but that's Martin taught me. Said, I said, Justine's perfect for me.
For most South Africans, public transport is a minibus taxi. They're cheap, go everywhere and are a great way to meet locals.
Does anybody know where the minivan is to Weenen? So it's about 2.5 hours to Weenen, depending on how fast the driver drives. And as you can see, it's very crowded. But it'll give me plenty of time to learn a little Zulu.
From Durban, it's a 5-hour drive into the heart of Zululand. The area is littered with 19th century battlefields. In Afrikaans, Weenen means place of weeping, because it was here that many died in battles between the Zulu and the Boers. Now it's a small, dusty market town where I met Linda Lani, a young Zulu who offered to take me to a local village that was celebrating the end of harvest.
Are they used to seeing white people here?
Not usually.
The drums were calling the villagers to join them, signaling the start of the celebration.
There's so many Zulu legends about courageous Zulu warriors.
Yes.
Do Zulus today feel that they're part of this very courageous warrior tradition?
Yes, Zulus are brave people. No cowards in the Zulu nation. We are all brave.
So
even myself.
Would you fight a war?
No. No, at the moment.
You're brave, but you don't want to fight.
Yeah, I must be brave, but I must think about myself, because at some stage I can die.
Dancing and singing are important traditions for the Zulu, celebrating their fierce warrior tradition. The shields that they use in ceremonies are used in battles to this day.
This.
What is it?
What is it?
No, it's something that you give more energy to the dancers. If they hear that, then they dance more than before, yes.
Traveling through Zululand and the Drakensberg Mountains takes you up into the nation of Lesotho. From this direction, the way in is through the Sani Pass. The South African border post is at the bottom of the pass.
Wait a minute. Can I go into Lesotho with this visa?
Yeah, there's no problem.
No,
you
going
can
into
go.
Lesotho, but coming back
You'll
into
have
South
a problem
Africa.
coming back into South Africa.
Are you serious? Well, apparently this is kind of problem that happens to travelers all the time, because people forget that Lesotho is a different country. So when you're flying into South Africa, make sure you have a multiple entry visa, because when you leave Lesotho, you're going to be coming back into South Africa again.
The scenery on the climb through the Sani Pass is stunning, but don't even think of attempting the trip without a four-wheel drive and an experienced driver. Lesotho's high mountain pastures have earned it the name Kingdom of the Sky. The whole country is the size of Belgium, and with a population of 2 million, it has its own culture, language, and currency.
Well, that took an hour, and my bum felt every single minute of it, but
I'm counting my blessings because that same road used to take ponies 18 hours to cross. And here I am, 9,000 feet up at the highest pub in Africa, about to enjoy my first Lesotho beer. Lesotho is one of the poorest countries in the world. Their legal exports are mostly mohair and Angora wool. Their illegal exports, strangely enough, are mostly diamond and marijuana. The best thing you can buy here, legally, are the wool blankets, the kind you wear. A nice blanket. Is this where you keep your money? This is where you keep, that's your money pit there, yeah? What are all these for?
Yeah, for decoration.
For decoration. This is it? And how much would this one be? How do you wear it?
Right.
Yeah, that's right. That's good. That's a good length. Otherwise, I'm walking on the blanket. Do I look like a Basotho? Hello.
Hello.
Is this a pony?
Yes, the pony.
Pony trekking is the best way to see Lesotho, and in winter, it's the only means of transport. Between the scattered villages, you see few people, apart from the occasional shepherd. Although traditional Basotho culture is breaking down through contact with the outside world, most Basotho people still live off the land. Many, however, have left the mountains to work in South Africa. Around these parts, February is sheep dipping time, when all the sheep get disinfected. Lesotho's weather conditions are extremely variable, and Basotho farmers have to constantly contend with drought, floods, and storms. On the way back, we came across a ceremony in the village of Mojakasani. So what is this ceremony about?
The ceremony is about celebrating the coming of age of young men. They get circumcised and they get taught or given advice on adulthood, and now they're full men.
So now they're being welcomed back into the community?
Exactly.
Once the village chief announced the return of the young men, the celebrations got underway. Traditional beliefs are still strong in these rural areas. There's much emphasis on the ancestors, who act as intermediaries between the people and the capricious forces of nature. From Mojakasani, you can travel northwest through Lesotho and back down across the South African border into the town of Vicksburg. This is Vicksburg, and I've been recommended a place to stay called Rustler's Valley, and the flyers printed on acid-free, 100% recycled paper. Yeah, I wanted to see if there was a room available tonight. That's gotta be it. 20 minutes drive from Vicksburg is Rustler's Valley. Every Easter they have a huge music festival, but for most of the year, it's a great place to kick back and relax.
lodge is situated in the middle of that mountain. As you can see, on the one end of the mountain, we have that beautiful hole in the rock there. And on the other end, we have that massive phallic symbol. And the two are joined together in that sort of kilometre of rock. And right in the middle of it, we situated there.
You can stay in huts at Rustler's Valley for as long as you like for just a few dollars a night. This place seems a little far out, and it is, but there's a serious side to it. Apart from the 3 musical festivals that they do every year, they've got these classes in permaculture and neurolinguistic programming. And there's this guy named Leon who does something called a sound journey, and he's in that green teepee up there. It says, "Journey into your consciousness."
Well, it's like a sound massage, really. It's sound working over your body and having the musical instruments, you know, integrating and bringing the organs together, vibrating. And the vibrations inside create a lot of harmony and bring you to a lot of really centered space.
The sound journey did send me into a deep state of relaxation. Not a bad start to my big journey north to the Kruger National Park. Kruger is huge, the size of Israel, and it's the largest and oldest game park in the world. Skukuza is the place to head for a true wilderness experience.
90% of the people who visit Kruger National Park come in a closed vehicle, and they drive on a tarred road, and they're not allowed to get out of the car at any point to view the game. But if you book up to about a year in advance, you can stay in one of the wilderness camps where you can then walk around with a ranger. And that's where I'm about to go.
Kruger has the greatest variety of animals of any game reserve in Africa. Most visitors come hoping to catch a glimpse of one of the big 5: elephant, lion, rhino, buffalo, and leopard.
The rangers are just about to give us their briefing, but first I have to show you where I'm spending the night. Mirror with natural light, lovely little wash basin. Mosquito nets, this is a serious malarial area. Firm mattress, wonderful little shelf, handy little pegs, very simple, very comfortable, very clean. Might seem a little cramped, but come with me. My very own personal game viewing terrace.
Just a couple of things I'd like you to remember while we're out there. As we walk, try and keep as a group together. Try not to talk while we're walking. As far as potentially dangerous situations are concerned, golden rule, of course, is never ever run. Some lion tracks here, it looks like a male.
Lion tracks.
little cubs like this. Two little baby lion cubs. Their eyes are still closed, so they're younger than 10 days old. Just behind the grass there. This is a very dangerous situation because it's thick grass. The cubs are in the open. They normally hide them in holes. So the mother would be very aggressive. So she's around here watching us somewhere. Let's get up here. See them? That was once in a lifetime experience. It's unique to see lion cubs that small because they're less than 10 days old on foot. It's the first time I've seen them on foot. It's only the second time I've seen them in my life.
For those who can afford it, there's the alternative, the private game park, where you're virtually guaranteed an up-close and personal look at least one of the big five.
What would you like to see today, Justine?
A leopard. A leopard will do.
Just a leopard. Nothing too difficult.
Mala Mala is one of the few private and expensive game reserves bordering the west of Kruger. Since the animals here have grown up accustomed to the sight and sound of Land Rovers, they can be approached within just a few feet. You can see they're a little bit nervous. And we're very, very close, which makes me a little nervous too. The animals virtually ignore the Land Rovers, giving the very false impression that they're tame. So I didn't see my leopard, but who cares? I still can't believe how close we got to those animals. I mean, they said we were going to get close, but I never thought we'd get that close. In 3 hours, I've seen a pride of lions, 2 cheetah munching on an impala, and a baby rhinoceros. Pretty amazing day. From Kruger, it's only a 2-hour flight to South Africa's largest city, Johannesburg. Flights are frequent and the airfare's cheap enough for budget travelers. Johannesburg is the commercial capital of South Africa. But with the high crime rate, downtown no longer attracts tourists or many residents for that matter. But Johannesburg is integrating quickly as blacks move out of the townships into what used to be white-only neighborhoods.
Is Johannesburg really as dangerous as everybody says it is?
It's a reality. My grandmother was killed last year. My business partner was shot 3 months ago in a hijacking. You know, when I walk down here at 4 in the morning, I look, man, I'm like sharp. I'm checking out all the time. And you too. I mean, you would be lying your pants off if you told me you weren't looking all the time. And if you walk in Hillbrow...
Actually, I never used to look around until I was shot.
So you were shot. What happened to you?
It was actually 8 o'clock in the evening, 8:30 in the evening. I was on the cell phone. 2 guys came up to me. One grabbed my shoulder, and as I turned around, the other shot me in the cheek, and they took my cell phone. But look, the point is, we think that Johannesburg is the most dangerous place on earth. It's not even the most dangerous place in South Africa. It's got the 3rd highest murder per capita in South Africa.
In South Africa, there's a perception that black people are the people who come into suburbs and steal while people drive. What is happening is that crime, the worst victims of crime, are in fact black.
Do you think Joburg's an important place for a traveler to visit?
Joburg is unique simply because this is the only place whereby you find racial harmonious people. This is the only place whereby you can walk down the street with your white or black girlfriend without anyone giving a second look or insulting you.
Do you think it's important that travelers visit the townships?
Definitely.
It's about getting some sort of a picture about what apartheid was like, about the conditions that were created. You'll never understand fully, but I think it's important to go there if you want to have at least a semblance of an idea about what happened in South Africa.
For the majority of Joburg's inhabitants, home continues to be black townships surrounding the city, and most likely it's Soweto. Throughout the 70s and 80s, the townships played a crucial role in the struggle against apartheid, culminating in the first ever democratic elections in 1994.
This area that we see on my left is one of the first few middle class areas. Most of the people who live here are professionals, that is teachers, nurses, and people who earn between A and B income group. And just across the road, as where we're going now, it's Kliptown, which is a direct opposite what you see here. Kliptown consists of the oldest squatter camp around Johannesburg.
Tumi and Andile took me to Wandi's, a famous shebeen or bar, which is very popular with the large tour groups visiting Soweto.
So this is Wandi's.
Wandi's.
It's, in theory, it's a shebeen, but
it's where the
idea starts from
interesting fauna here at Wandi's.
But what it actually is, it's one that is changed to be more of a tourist attraction.
Yeah, Johnny Cochran's been here. Look at that.
Precisely.
Where are you from? Yes. Where are you from?
From Norway.
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 Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
We sit in
a lot of you.
Norway. All of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Soweto is divided into many different neighborhoods, and here in the Mandela squat camp, conditions are horrendous. There are 90 porta potties for 14,000 people, and only 5 stand pumps for the entire community.
Do you think it's important that white people come? I feel like so strange being here.
It was going to be much more important that if more and more white South Africans would come here and
no, but sometimes I feel that we treat these people like an exhibition.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That feels very strange.
No, I do agree with that, but maybe if they were coming more often, it will touch their souls to see how people live instead of turning this into exhibition centers.
But there's a fine line. There's a fine line to walk, you know. On the one hand, maybe you do want people to understand what these people went through, but on the other hand, you also don't want to turn them into museum pieces.
I fully agree.
Although on the surface little seems to have changed, the next generation brings with it hope for a new era.
I was born in South Africa, but we left when I was 3. And for the first 3 years of my life, we, like all white, middle-class South Africans, had a nanny. Her name is Linda, and I've stayed in touch with her ever since. The last time I saw her was 15 years ago, but I've written her, and she knows that I'm coming here today. Excuse me, Linda? Linda Pata? Linda? Linda and Elizabeth? I know their house is right around here.
Who?
Linda.
Linda.
Linda. Next door. Thank you.
Hello. Una caja. Are you good?
You look great.
Yes.